Hey guys, it's Grotto1 here. So I have been getting a few more things done here on the machine and I'm going to give you guys an update. So when I first built this thing, I used the tubing bender quite a bit, and so what that means is that there's not a lot of areas anymore that I can use as a reference to true up the rear suspension. But I have been using one area and it's pretty effective. And it's one of the original frame pieces right down there. It goes across like that, and it's square to the machine. So you can see it there, it's got a bit of red paint on it. So I've been referencing off of that. And you guys also remember in a video or two back I was showing you how I was using a bunch of extra tubing that I tack welded underneath the machine just to use as a table to prop all kinds of stuff up with. Well, that tubing is still here. See, it's still being used. And but now I've got one in a different location here, and that's this one here. So that's also a temporary piece, and I've got it sitting up on top there with a C-clamp. And same thing here on this side. And what I've done is I trued this piece of tubing up against that original frame rail right there, the one with the red paint on it. So I made the measurement from here to there the same on both sides. So what that means is now I've got this honking long piece of tubing, which is longer than the machine is wide, going the length of the machine here, or is all the way along the back there. Well, that's a true piece that I can reference this bearing carrier against. So what you saw me doing earlier there, as I was just putting a level on the machine in different areas to true it up. And what I'm trying to do here right now is get the lengths of the tubing correct for these A-arms, because I want to start making them. So originally I had only tack welded the front here and I left the back loose because I was thinking I was probably going to have to fine-tune the lengths. So that's what I've done now. So I've got this thing pretty well where I want to have it sitting. And I should show you one more thing that I'm doing here. See, I use this square and put it up against this bearing carrier, and see, I can use the tubing that I trued up with the frame. See that? So I can true it up so that it's true this way, that bearing carrier. And it's also true this way because I put the level on it, and also this way too because I put a level on it this way. So, and you know, maybe it's not ultra precise yet, but the whole goal here is just to figure out my lengths here that I need for these the tubes here for the A-arms, and I'm going to show you now how I'm going to figure that out. So one more thing that reference tube is handy for is getting this bearing carrier set up as far as front to back, you know, this way and that way, because one end of this axle sits in here, the other end of the axle is over there, so I want them to be pretty much in line, so I can reference off of here, you know, how far back I need to come. And once I had this whole assembly set up the way I wanted it, I cut this little piece of rod here and I just use it as a little tool here to measure. See the bolt on the bottom there, and it just touches the reference tube. So now when I want to work on the other side, I just take this little piece of rod and I can quickly reference off of the tube, and I can get at least this way back very quickly. So anyways, back to these bunks and this tubing. So because this carrier is sitting where I want it now, it shows me that the lengths of the tube are not correct for all of them. So what I did is I took my caliper and I measured in here to see how much of a gap there was. This is the one that has the most gap. So I don't have to cut anything off of this one, but the other ones I do because they don't have as much gap. So then I referenced it over to the other ones and I made a mark. And this one I'm going to have to cut the most off of because it's already collapsed up all the way. So I'm going to cut all these tubes now, and also once I've got them all cut, then I'm going to drill all the holes in them, you know, like I did for these, so I can do those spot welds in there. So that's the plan now. I got to take this all apart, cut all the tubing, drill the holes. So the other day my wife, she's asking me, she wanted to know why I was doing all this with the machine. So I said, well, because I can and because I want to. I thought that was two really good reasons. So here's where we're at with the machine now. So I've got both hubs lined up now the way I want them to be, both ends. So what I want to do now is disassemble it all again. Take all these, all the rods off now for the A-arms, and now I want to finish welding. So these gaps need to be finished off, and I can do a better job with it all apart and off the machine. So once I have the A-arms or the rods for the A-arms all welded up, then I'll put it all back together, and then I want to start bridging and reinforcing them, getting ready for the shock mount. So I was trying something new today. I rigged up my welder to a foot switch, and then all I have to do is just rotate the tubing and try and get it at the right speed. So kind of interesting. I'll probably try it again. I kind of liked it. So worked not too bad. I also the other day made up these corner tabs here, or the braces, these guys here. So I made 4 of those up, and they support the longest of the brackets, the ones in the back here. So they come around the back like that. So 4 of them. And I may also relocate the muffler yet, I'm not sure. It normally gets bolted to where those rolls of tape are, and exhaust is here coming out here. So I may end up putting it behind here sideways. We'll see yet whether even I need to, and also there's some more bracing and stuff that comes up in here, so we'll play that a little bit by ear.